called Loyam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash Rakatham. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, no more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. So, Brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant. And I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And basically, this lesson is in regard to an article I came across, can't recall, but sometime last week. Just going into the times we're in, because the scriptures prophesied it'll be uproars and seditions and insurrections, and basically people not agreeing with or going against the rule of law that these governments have laid down. Because in the end, people understanding that these governments basically aren't like basically having their best interests in mind. When you got to understand the way the system works. Individuals, it's not really built around the individual. It's more so catered to the population. The collective as a whole. And that's why you're gonna have people that's gonna rebel. I looked up the word sedition, and when you go into the word sedition, it reads conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. And you got to have that, and this is a perfect example of this. It's an article out of Newsbreak. I don't get too much of it because my phone about to die. It's early, things going on. But trying to get my lesson in for the day, and it reads, news, Justice Department, Washington man charged with leaving more than 400 threatening voicemails for members of Congress. The 48-year-old left voicemails for numerous lawmakers threatening bodily harm. He is due at court in Tacoma on Thursday. And it reads, a Washington State man has been charged with 7 counts of making interstate threats after he was accused of leaving more than 400 voicemails over 2 years for members of Congress. Mark Leonetti, 48, of Longview, was arrested Wednesday after a criminal complaint was filed Monday by the Justice Department. He is due to appear in the U.S. District Court in Tacoma on Thursday. Leonetti left more than 400 voicemails last year at the office phone numbers for numerous senators and representatives of both political parties, according to the criminal complaint. The voicemails were not always coherent. The FBI agent investigating the case said what they made reference to the murder or killing. And the thing is this, he probably was intoxicated, you know what I mean? But regardless of the fact, even if you're intoxicated, you gotta, he gonna be held accountable for what his actions. And the thing is, that's he probably was deeply emotional about it because this sounds like when a person is upset that their baby mama, or, when somebody really wounded. And, a lot of these Edomites are really wounded because they seeing this system and this place go down. Scriptures in the book of Proverbs talk about when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear for rule, the people mourn. People are in a state of mourning because times are hard. Scriptures talk about, because just with the inflation, it's an increase on everything from rent to, just everything is more expensive. To buy a car is more expensive. The only thing they haven't really raised the rates on is like public transportation and stuff like that, and they can't really afford to, due to the fact if the public can't afford to catch the bus, how you gonna keep that going? So it's lovely how the Lord called Loyam Layah set all this up, because 2023 is gonna be a certain kind of year. I was listening to the Elder Apostle Tahar. He said he already came, or he already got the basically the name of what the years, the year of, because that's a tradition of Great Millstone. And since I've been to this truth, he's been spot on and dead accurate, you know what I mean? And just through the Spirit, because the weird job I got, I missed a lot of the high holy days, although in the past I got to basically partake in a lot of them with the brethren. But this year I missed a few of the high holy days, Hanukkah for being for one, but I am going to be able to make, Lord willingly, that New Year's Eve of destruction, because typically I work on, certain, like on that Saturday, I got to rush after camp to get to work. But this week and next week, I don't have to do that. So, just Lord willing, I get to bring that New Year's Eve of destruction, because that's a tradition that I've been taking part in since I've been in the truth. And it's beautiful that, because you can literally see this place spiraling if you have an eye salve, if you have the spiritual eye salve. And, even 2/3 and these heathens and these Babylonians are seeing it. And that's why this guy did what he did. He frustrated. He's seeing this place literally Salakia. So it says none of the lawmakers was identified by name in the complaint. Despite being visited and warned several times by law enforcement and mental health professionals, the Justice Department said Leonetti to continue his threatening behavior this year. So we're going to barbecue your ass. We're going to peel your inside. He said, so we're going to barbecue your ass. We're going to peel your ass inside out. Leonetti said in one of the 7 voicemails he left for lawmakers in September, prosecutors said. In one of the 32 voicemails Leonetti left for a senator over 3 days in September, he's alleged to have said, so I'm going to murder you. It is justified. And scriptures go into in the book of Isaiah about how the Egyptian is going to be versus Egyptian, because you're going to have certain people that's going to be against the way the government, because when you go into the word government, govern meaning to control, meaning your mind, and that's why they have laws in place, and the scriptures talk about how, basically to follow the laws of the land is when, it says in the scriptures, even Yahushua said that. Actually, it's the quote of Yahushua, quoting it. It says basically, he said, render unto Caesar what Caesar's, render unto the Most High the Most High. So, and when you go into Romans chapter 13, Salakia, it tells you to basically to follow the rules of who the Most High set in place. The Most High set these governments up. But it's when, they have you basically going against the scriptures that, or basically going against the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that you're supposed to bear witness. It says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And basically, just that scripture alone shows you how literally, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man. The Most High, you don't have control of your life like you think. If the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, has already set up who going to be in rulership, and it tells you that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and set whomever he roughly paraphrase, set whomever he will roughly paraphrase. I think it's in the book of Daniel. I think it's chapter 7. Especially when it go into when he put Nebuchadnezzar in his position and then brought him low to the point where he was grazing amongst the animals. Locking my phone about that. So and that's the spirit of this place right now. You got a lot of people upset and mourning and frustrated. And when conditions on the earth get rougher, when people's families aren't eating, when people's families are freezing. Because I was just listening to the brother in the UK. He said they're rationing food. So we got to throw up prayers for the brother, because we have Akim out there, all across the UK. So, you know what I mean? We got to hope and pray that Yahweh Shem Yahushua continues to take care of those brethren out there. You got the brothers in Dallas. It was talking about how this year they're supposed to get a freak storm, and Dallas and those southern states are states that normally don't get cold. But, I remember when I was going through my testimony, I remember my sister, they moved to Atlanta they moved to Georgia. They don't live in Atlanta. But the point is, and it was like, when they first got out there, it wasn't snowing. And now you're watching those temperatures change because the Lord is doing a new thing on the earth. It tells you the turning of things upside down. And is it, H-A or H-A-A-R-P? Who's to say? But regardless of whatever's being used, if it's a man-made device or whatever, because that technology is real, nonetheless, it tells you that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man. That's in the scripture. So, it tells you the Most High control of the steps of man. So even if Esau, Edom is behind this weather manipulation, is at the end of the day ultimately goes to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Uh, that's pretty much. I'm just getting out some more scriptures. Scriptures talk about uproars of the people. You know, this is Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 1, and it reads, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes," we just had an earthquake. I forgot what state, but they was just talking about a state. They had an earthquake. They talking about it's about to be a volcanic eruption with that one damn, what, I can't think of what volcano, but it's been inactive for years, and now all of a sudden it's they talk about it might erupt, or look like it's active again and may erupt soon. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So you know, manifest meaning to suddenly appear. Like how the scriptures say, the Most High Yahweh shall return like a thief in the night. You know, suddenly, when you are unaware. And that's how these prophecies are manifesting, where people are, well, 2/3, a majority of the people that aren't spiritual, you know, they're not going to be aware, but those that are spiritual, that the Lord is calling to, you know, that the Lord basically open eyes to the truth, you know, they see it's not going to be suddenly to them. And that's where right now they're trying to be in the spirit to get themselves prepared to be bidden to the marriage, you know, to be prepared for the bridegroom, which is Yahweh Shah, who's coming back to save his bride, which is the elect. It's the book of, and it's gonna get so bad because the simple fact is, like I said, if I'm talking about in the UK, they ration their food, you know, that's gonna go take place in other places as well. You know, to the point, you know, in Second Ezra 15, it talks about that. But basically, not only with the authorities, because when you go into some of the, you go into that Patriot Act and all that, they are allowed to just confiscate your individual's goods. So basically, it's no freedom, and that's why that guy Klaus Schwab literally made that statement: "You will own nothing and be happy." You know what I mean? Because a carnal individual will be just happy with any kind of life. You know what I mean? But, you know, being that, you know, like this truly is becoming a prison planet. And you will see that more and more next year, 2023, through the spirit. Just speaking as a man, but through the spirit, I feel that, you know, they already start unveiling the robot dogs. It was funny. They unleashed them to a degree in New York, and then people, they had a negative backlash against it, so they put them up. But then you see in the other states and whatnot, or on the silent, they used them. So it's gonna be eventually, and then to show you how goofy the police officers is, why would they need all the law enforcement did? If they could mount a fucking rifle on this robot, all they need is the operator of the robot. You know what I mean? They don't need all the, you know what I mean? You know, you're gonna have, that's where the Egyptian versus Egyptian gonna come in, because you're gonna have people that used to be dedicated to this society and the, you know, law enforcement, military, what have you, have not, or whatever have you, and Salaki, I said have you, have not, whatever you had, whatever have you, as far as in regards to what position they play in this man's military, or, you know, his defense or his law enforcement or whatever. But, you know, again, you gonna have people that gonna have families. They show you that in that movie World War Z. You know, he shot a guy with a rifle, and then he thinking the police officer about to come get him because it's a police officer amongst all the chaos. And the police officer ran right past him and went and got shit for his baby. He going to get baby food. So, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, you could clearly see it, you know. So this is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection among those that fear the Lord. And, you know, basically they're going to come after those that fear the Lord. You know, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall cast So like, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. You know, a lot of brothers like to use that scene of what's that, the Dark Knight Rises, Batman, when they was going into those um plush apartment buildings and high rises and snatching the wealthy up out of they apartments and snatching their goods and whatnot. You know, it was pandemonium and chaos like that, right in the midst of broad daylight. And you're gonna see that to a degree here. Well, you're gonna see worse than that if it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because you don't even understand how bad it's gonna get. It's a movie called The Crazies, and they basically militarized a way to basically affect the population. It was a way to basically take over the cities, to leave the cities intact without having to rebuild the infrastructure or whatnot. Would basically drive out the people. And there was a chemical warfare where they basically dropped this chemical on the people and they went crazy and attacked each other. So when you see that movie, it's literally like a lot of it just shows you the evil times coming, you know what I mean? And it just puts you in the mindset of just imagine when everybody's trying to go get, necessities for their household. So point of the lesson was the fact that you got individuals that are upset at this system. And the scriptures in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 says in the last days there should be perilous times. When you go in, the word perilous means dangerous. But, it's multiple scriptures that talk about the Most High basically shall protect, cover, feed, take care of his hopeful elect. And that's what we hope in. The book of the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 tells you the just shall live by faith. And it's getting to the point, like Klaus Schwab said, you will have nothing, you will own nothing but be happy. Well, we aren't happy with this place. We're vexed with this place. I can't remember that scripture, but it talks about basically give his ear no rest. So we constantly in mourning and complaining about this place. So all we can do is live by faith and hope that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua sends our big brother Yahweh Shah Mashiach back soon. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rachakadosh. Double honors to your apostle. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. So next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawat lababal, shalom.